In 2006, I graduated high school, a high school that was geographically located only about 15 miles north of here. But little did I know then that my journey to Brown was still thousands of miles away. After over a decade of detours, setbacks, and meandering paths traveled, I finally found myself here. Today, most of us are here with our families and loved ones, celebrating this important milestone in our lives. And overall, we feel accomplished and happy. Maybe some of us are nervous about what is yet to come, or where we will best fit in the world. Do not worry, you are ready. Whichever path you choose is the right path, because it is the path that makes the most sense for the time. And it is the path that will lead you to find a deeper meaning in life. In Steven Pinker's book, Enlightenment Now, he discusses the difference between people who seek to live happy lives and those who seek to live meaningful lives. He says, happy people live in the present. Those who live meaningful lives have a narrative for the past and a plan for the future. Based on what I've observed from all of you here at Brown, I think it is safe to say that most of us are choosing to seek out a life of meaning. Right now, I know it may feel like whichever path you choose next will determine the rest of your life's trajectory, but I'm here to assure you that sometimes your path in life is meant to be discovered, not necessarily decided. As a non-traditional resumed undergraduate education student, I am honored to have the opportunity to speak with you all today. My path after high school did not lead me straight to college, but it did still lead me to seek out a life of meaning. It allowed me to learn through experiences and value the importance of both professional and personal growth. My opening statement in my application to Brown said, I come from a family that many would consider destined for failure. At the time, this was a point that I had spent so much of my life trying to disprove. But the truth is, I've failed many times. But I used each failure as a navigational tool to reorient my path back to success. Ultimately, failure is what tells us to change directions or try another way. So if you have a clear goal in life, never quit, but do know when to change directions. There are many days of failure ahead of all of us. Do not let that alarm you, because those are going to be the days that we are going to lead us to our path through success. If hard work and persistence does not reap reward, then it is time to change directions or pave a completely new path. In these moments, it may seem devastating, but this is when you will dig deep. It is not when we are at the top and everything is going great that we learn our true grit. It is when we are at our lowest and quitting seems easier than continuing on, that we find a way to reorient ourselves back to the path of success. In my senior year of high school, a good friend of mine and I began planning for college. We were two young girls that were so excited to be roommates at UMass Amherst. We were both so excited to start this new chapter together. We talked about matching sweatshirts and the best place to find good food on campus. But when my decision letter came in the mail, I was not accepted to UMass Amherst, or even my state college, URI. Those were the only two colleges that I applied to at the time. My classroom grades were good, but I did not do well on my SAT exam, and ultimately, I was rejected from both colleges. I remember feeling demoralized at the time, not knowing what to do next, but some circumstances are beyond our control. Eager to make a better life for myself and stay out of debt, I enlisted into the United States Navy. My time in the military taught me so many great lessons. The most important lesson for all of your futures is understanding the value of great leadership and seeing how poor leadership can greatly strain a mission and its people. The best leaders constantly mentor the next generation and encourage them to keep growing. They lead their teams with honor, integrity, honesty, and excellence. To lead with honor is to have the utmost respect for yourself. Exercise your mind, exercise your body, and exercise your soul. And to have the utmost respect for what you represent, your community, your family, and your culture. To lead with integrity is to always do the right thing for the long term, even when no one else is looking. See problems and solutions all the way through before taking action. Respect yourself and know your value. To lead with honesty is to hold yourself accountable for your thoughts, behaviors, and actions. Be forthcoming about your mistakes and admit fault. It will earn you respect, and it is the highest credential one can achieve, as honesty is the only avenue for peace of mind. And lead with excellence. It's to take pride in your name and the team that you represent. Strive to do your best at whatever it is you're investing your time in doing. But also take the time to grow your people and your team. They will become your most valuable asset in both the short term and the long. If you develop a passion for hard work and excellence, then you will be free to explore all of your interests in life. I was lucky enough to have an excellent leader during my last tour in the Navy. Her leadership was so great that I planned on separating from the military and continuing to work on her team, just as a civilian. This was going to be my new life trajectory. I was prepared to commit my future to being a career analyst. It was a great plan. But once again, failure came to guide me another way. The government was going through sequestration, and there was a nationwide government hiring freeze. It could take months to over a year before I could continue on with the government hiring process. I remember this was a really, really scary time. There was no going back to my parents, and there was no going back to the military. Unsure of what I was going to do next and where I would find the most meaning in life, I enrolled in college at the New England Institute of Technology. NEIT had an open enrollment with a mechanical engineering program that later became my motivation for applying to Brown. While at NEIT, I started to focus my efforts on gaining the skills necessary to effectively contribute to the human space exploration mission. I had done research on one of the newly selected NASA astronauts from 2013, Jessica Meir, who is a Brown alum. I became more motivated than ever to embark on a similar journey and set my sights on Brown University. By the fall of 2015, I started my first semester here at Brown. It was going to be amazing, I just knew it. Maybe some of you remember having similar thoughts. I started engineering classes and became immersed in my studies. Things were going okay in the beginning, but then things steadily began to feel unstable around midterms, and then finals. I was not doing well on my exams, and this was the largest part of our grade. It was devastating. I became so concerned that I actually saw a doctor to assess if there was something wrong with me. I was fine and my IQ was high, but I just had a different way of thinking. Reflecting on this moment, I learned to validate myself and my own growing knowledge. Sometimes things don't go as planned, but I needed to be patient and respect the time and hard work that I invested in gaining other skills, such as research and analytics. But once again, failure reoriented my path. I changed my concentration to geological science and visual art. This is when I started to look forward to doing homeworks, where I could read, analyze, and write academic papers discussing planetary science. It was amazing. This new path also increased the amount of time that I was able to spend with leaders and experts in the field. The Planetary Science Friday research meetings became my favorite aspect of Brown. I could sit in the back of a room on a Friday evening while observing and listening to renowned experts discuss engaging space-related topics every week. I no longer needed theoretical engineering. I was still at Brown, and now I could spend the majority of my days thinking about the moon and Mars. Oh, while creating visual art. It felt like a dream. Looking back now, I cannot imagine what my life would have been like had even one of those things gone differently. So I encourage you all to embrace your journey and relax. Let failure guide you and live to be incredible, where others do not have the power to validate you. You know who you are, and if you conduct yourself in good character and stay focused on your mission, then you will have freed yourself to explore all of your interests in life, with confidence and usefulness. Because to live a meaningful life does not mean to live a perfect life without mistakes, setbacks, or detours, but is to learn from those mistakes and grow over your obstacles while blocking out the naysayers. You all are exceptionally talented and motivated and will absolutely do amazing things in your lives. There's no doubt about it. Sometimes we may not get the credit and recognition we feel we deserve, but our contribution still may very well influence the world. In these moments, it is important to reflect on your character and on your contribution and have that be enough to make you proud. We are graduating from Brown University, and with that comes the expectation that we are highly competent and that we value personal growth. As we all go on to do great things and become our world's future leaders, look to lead with honor, integrity, honesty, and excellence. It is through these experiences that I have found deeper meaning and happiness in my life. It is my hope that in sharing my journey with you today, that you all can get a head start at learning how to use failure as a tool for navigation, learn to validate yourselves by being confident with your own growing knowledge, and take the time to develop a great character along with your great professions. Thank you all so much for your time, and I cannot wait to see who you all are about to become. Congratulations, class of 2018.5. Thank you.